Kayla Harris dominates once again on Friday night in PFL 6.
Dislocated that poor girl's arm, elbow.
Cindy Dandaloyes or something like that. I don't know her name. I've seen her Instagram before.
Bro, and, she dominated that whole fight. It only lasted a round.
Yeah.
Or not even a round. But, oh my God, Kayla Harrison. Like, I am
just destroying everyone.
And I know you're not. And I know you do not care if she comes to the UFC to fight Amanda. But I am excited for Kayla Harrison to come over. And at least there's something. There's something where it's like, okay, cool, a new challenge for Amanda Nunes, potentially. I think that's what I'm more excited for. I'm not sitting here saying Kayla Harrison is going to come into the UFC and beat Amanda. I'm not saying that. But what I'm excited for is the new opportunity, a new contender to at least fight Amanda Nunes. Because think about it, man. We have not thought that Amanda Nunes could potentially lose a fight outside of Chris Cyborg how many years ago? Which, might I add, I bet on that 2-1 underdog for Amanda Nunes and was jumping around in Vegas when I won that. But that's the only fight where Amanda Nunes was like the real underdog, where it was like, wow, we don't know who's going to win this fight. Tell me in the last 3 or 4 years, anyone that has come through this featherweight division, through this bantamweight division, who in this division have you been like, oh, wow, they can beat Amanda?
Nobody.
No one, man. No one.
Kayla Harris could be that. I really do think she could. And I just don't know. I mean, really, what's the point? Because I think Amanda Nunes smokes you, and then you're going to be taking a massive pay cut. Like, why not just stay in PFL and make these $1 million paydays when you know you're going to win the belt every time?
And that's a fair point to make. It is a fair point to make, but I think at a fighter's point, when they say that they want to be the best in the world, eventually you got to know that you got to come over to the UFC. Mm-hmm. You have to. And especially in the women's division, you know the talent pool is just so much greater, so much more talent in the UFC, and that's a fact. So even if she were to take a pay cut, if she really truly believes she's the best in the world and wants to prove she's best in the world, she's willing to take that pay cut, especially if she goes out there and wins this PFL tournament and wins $1 million. You invest that money right, that you're better off than you were, without that $1 million. You come over to the UFC, make a couple $100,000, for a couple fights. I think she wants to be the best in the world and she wants to prove it. Mm-hmm. At least from the interviews I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard Ariel Helwani I've heard those same ones, and I agree. I do think she does want to prove it. It's just it's going to be a money thing because she's going to get paid at the same time. I mean, what do you do when she comes to the UFC? I mean, you have to give her one fight, right?
Absolutely. I do not want to see her just fight Amanda Nunes.
So it's 145 pounds. Really, it's like you got girls like Holly Holm, maybe Megan Anderson, or Felicia Spencer. And that's it. Like, that's the only real matchups you can make. I mean, you're not going to tell me that Felicia Spencer and Kayla Harrison isn't a great fight. Like, that's a fantastic matchup.
You know what's funny, too, is that was a name that stood out to me, too. So I'm all for that fight. I think that's the one that makes the most sense, too. Mm-hmm. You do that fight, you see where she's at. If she wins that fight decisively, throw her to the champ, because who else is contending for this featherweight belt?
Nobody. I mean, there's no girls. There's really no incentive even to build this division. I mean, you've had girls say this division's done and they're going to kill it. And this was months ago and it's still around. And I don't know what's happening. It's like we're not signing new featherweights.
I know, man. But it is interesting. It is very interesting because if she were to go out there and beat Felice, you got to give her that title shot.
Yeah.
And then that would be the first time where like a featherweight fight and you're like, damn, you don't know who's going to win. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, I go with Amanda.
I'd go with Amanda.
I go with Amanda.
She's probably going to be the betting favorite, right?
Oh,
like
for
minus
sure.
300 or something.
She'll probably be a minus 250. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt.